Damn, Goku just can't help but draw all sorts of new, all-powerful villains towards his loved ones, now can he? Sure, he's a nice guy with a good heart, or maybe a not-so-good heart before that future heart medicine arrived, but he's always managing to find new ways to parade world-destroying megalomaniacs around his children and their friends. I guess nobody ever really claimed Goku was a good dad. If you couldn't tell, I'm getting us set up for a deep dive into the Moro arc. What, you couldn't tell? Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, only 25% of our viewers are subscribed, so if you're a fan of the video, please like and double check if you are subscribed, and with that out of the way, let's get into it. Galactic Patrol Kidnapping. Following the ordeal surrounding Broly, Goku trains with Vegeta in the Gravity Training Room. When asked about Ultra Instinct, Goku says that he hasn't been able to pull it off since the Tournament of Power. Bulma contacts the two and tells them that Mr. Satan called because a mysterious gang was attempting to kidnap Good Boo, to which the Saiyan pair made their way over using their own means of transport, with Vegeta not wanting Goku's help when he offers to teleport them both. At Satan House, Mr. Satan attempts to stop a group of people from boarding Boo onto their spaceship when Goku and Vegeta show up. Goku attacks the kidnappers, only for Maris, the leader, to use his stun gun to knock both Goku and Vegeta out cold before telling his men to take them along as well. Goku awakens to see Jocko and finds himself now on the Galactic Patrol HQ spaceship. Maris appears and apologizes for his actions, but says he had no choice as he wouldn't listen. Vegeta asks why he needs Boo, and Maris explains that a dangerous criminal has broken free from the Galactic prison, and in order to recapture them they need the assistance of the Grand Supreme Kai. 10 million years ago on Moro's planet, the Grand Supreme Kai and the South Supreme Kai battle Moro. Using his powers, Moro absorbs life energy from a nearby planet and feasts upon it. He unleashes a torrent of deadly energy upon the Supreme Kais, and with no other choice, the Grand Supreme Kai decides to use up all of his godly power in order to seal away Moro's magic. This allowed the Galactic Patrol to imprison him, where he stayed locked away until recently in the present day. Back in the present, Maris tells his followers that Moro was still powerful without his magic, and was sentenced to death, though nobody was strong enough to end his life. Maris says that they require the Grand Supreme Kai's help once more, and for that they must extract him from Good Boo. Goku and Vegeta offer to help them catch Moro, and the Galactic King bestows upon them the role of temporary special members of the Galactic Patrol, with their insignia being attached to their own clothing. Just then, Maris and the others are urgently told of the Macaroni siblings, and that they've just stolen something, and Goku and Vegeta join him on their mission to capture them. On the planet Jung, the Macaroni siblings are in the middle of a train robbery, trying to steal the valuable mineral called Blue Aurum. The Galactic Patrol pull up alongside the train in their spaceship, with Maris confronting the leader of the gang. Pasta Macaroni detaches a compartment of the train before sending the two down separate tracks. Pasta blows the track on which Maris is currently riding, but he's able to slow the compartments down before they fall from the track and cause a deadly explosion. Goku stops the gang from escaping in their spaceship, and upon returning the cargo and imprisoning the gang, the Galactic Patrol make their way back to headquarters. Their spaceship receives a report from another squad who have found Moro's location. After pointing out the direction in which Moro is located, Goku attempts a search of his own, but while he is successful in finding him, Moro gives a sinister smile, seeming to know that Goku is onto him. After attempting to find Moro's key, Goku tells Vegeta that Moro could sense that he was being searched, and that while his key wasn't particularly large, it was terrifying beyond whatever he'd felt. Maris explains that this is a result of his ability to absorb the life force of planets, which he can then use as his own power, and it's why he's lived for so long. Goku realizes that Moro appears to be heading toward New Namek, though is unsure how he could know of its location due to it being kept a secret. Just then, Pasta Macaroni interrupts, saying that he has heard of the Namekians and their Dragon Balls from a fellow prisoner who previously worked under Frieza, and that he was looking for strong warriors to help him recover them, and word soon reached another of the prisoners, Moro, and would now appear to be in search of them himself. Aboard Moro's vessel, the pilot Cranberry tells Moro of how the Dragon Balls can grant 3 wishes, and reminds him of the promise that he be allowed to use one to be able to escape to a planet where he'll never be found. Moro agrees to this, stating that he only requires the one wish for himself. Soon after, they begin their descent on New Namek. Goku, in an urgent manner, decides that they need to teleport to the planet immediately, as they do not have time for Good Boo to awaken, and takes Vegeta along with him. The two Saiyans arrive at the planet just in time for Moro to land. Goku warns Muri of the current events, and the Namekians soon grab the Dragon Balls and flee the area. Moro disembarks from the ship as Goku calls out to him to turn back and return to prison, but he's ignored and just uses his powers to pull Eska from hiding and grabs him by the neck, labeling him as just food. As Moro begins to choke the child, Vegeta suddenly kicks him out of his grasp, grabbing Eska and returning him to his elder. The battle on New Namek. Vegeta, wanting to repay the pain that he caused the Namekians many years prior, decides to battle Moro first, transforming into a Super Saiyan in the process and attacks him head-on, but struggles to land a blow. As he charges again, Moro uses his abilities to throw Vegeta around without using his hands, but is surprised to find him still standing, now having transformed into Super Saiyan God. Moro attempts to use the same ability again, but this time is unable, and instead is struck with a kick to the face in retaliation. Voicing his disappointment at Moro's level, Vegeta casually destroys the trees and rocks being thrown towards him, saying that they have come across plenty of bizarre powers in their time fighting already. Back aboard the Galactic Patrol ship, Maris decides to head back to HQ as they will still require the Grand Supreme Kai. When Jocko tells him that the Saiyans have a decent chance of winning, Maris says that it's unlikely that they will win. On the battlefield, Moro removes his cloak, now ready to use his magic. Goku points out Moro's ability to absorb life energy, something he had recently attempted to do with Eska. Moro says that he'll be using the same technique, albeit with a different application. Moro summons a wave of energy upwards out of the ground from the very planet itself, which catches Vegeta by surprise and makes him falter. Moro explains that the attack is not just from his power alone, but also from New Namek. Vegeta takes to the air to escape, but is then struck by several torrents of energy. He charges at Moro, who in response brings up another wave of energy in front of himself as a shield. When Goku offers to switch places with Vegeta, he is denied. Vegeta tells Moro that he'll soon reach his limit if he keeps using the same move, but Moro tells him it has no limit as he can continue to use it until the planet itself has been extinguished. Vegeta admits that he's unable to capture him if he can't get close and has no more power-ups left. Vegeta asks Moro why he came to New Namek, and that depending on what his goal is, they could maybe even be of some use to him. Moro mocks Vegeta, but believes his cooperation could be useful, so he complies and tells Vegeta that he desires the Namekian Dragon Balls. Moro asks Vegeta if he knows anything about them, and when Vegeta says he's unaware of the details, Moro attempts to finish him off. Vegeta is able to fend off Moro, who for the first time comes after him still using the power of the planet for his attacks. While being pushed back, Vegeta asks Moro what his wish would be as he already possesses enough power, but Moro says that he doesn't, as at the height of his power, Vegeta would have been nothing more than an insect, and so he desires his full strength to be given back to him that he lost in his many years spent in confinement. Having tricked his goal out of him, Vegeta stops playing possum and powers up to Super Saiyan Blue. Surprised at his new level of power, Moro creates even more attacks to finish him off, but Vegeta powers up the Super Saiyan God SS Evolved to easily outmaneuver everything thrown at him, and kicks Moro hard in the stomach, which sends him crashing into the sea. Moro emerges from the water, and Goku warns Vegeta of something strange going on. Moro charges up an energy attack, which grows more powerful as he steals energy away from the planet, Goku, Vegeta, and the Namekians, causing them to grow faint. To Goku and Vegeta's surprise, Moro does not throw the attack, but instead condenses it and eats it, granting him another power-up. Vegeta attempts to turn into a Super Saiyan Blue once again, but is unable to. Now much more powerful than before, and Vegeta being weaker, Moro quickly grabs him and throws him hard, telling him that he too was hiding his true intent. Moro now throws a drained Goku and Vegeta around with ease. Vegeta attempts to strike back with his Galactic gun, but Moro simply swallows the energy blast whole. Meanwhile, on Beerus's planet, Whis notices a decline in energy on planet New Namek and informs Beerus, who says that he is fine with letting events play out as Namek does not have any interesting food. Back on New Namek, Goku attempts to teleport himself and Vegeta back to the Galactic Patrol but does not have energy. After being hit by a large energy blast, Moro grabs the two Saiyans and absorbs the last bits of their energy, altering his appearance slightly to look more youthful. The battle over with, Cranberry uses his scouter and pinpoints the location of the villages that should each hold a Dragon Ball. As they head off in their spaceship, the nearby Muri and Eska rush over to the fallen Goku and Vegeta to find them still breathing. On Earth, an angry Bulma expresses how it's been a week since Goku and Vegeta left, and after questioning Mr. Satan realizes that the Galactic Patrol are possible. She decides to go to Tights' home so she can use her communicator to get in touch with Jocko. Meanwhile, at the Galactic Patrol HQ, Jocko returns and soon gets in contact with Bulma, who asks that a ship be sent her way as she wants to go over there herself, but Jocko quickly hangs up on her before giving an answer. Maris, on the other hand, is told that Good Boo has finally awoken and goes to see him. 3 days later on Namek, Mori watches over Goku and Vegeta, who have slightly recovered due to Eska using his healing powers. They're informed that while asleep, Moro had attacked 3 villages and obtained their Dragon Balls. Just then, they feel the impact of Moro's power as he begins to attack Suburi's village. As Goku laments his inability to help, Mori tells him that they have assimilation as a last resort. Several dozen of the strongest Namekian warriors from each village combine together to form a mighty warrior who heads to the village to confront Moro. However, he's immediately killed in a single strike before he's able to do anything. As the Namekian villagers express their shock in what they saw, Moro sarcastically apologizes for killing him before he could even see his face. Mori is devastated at their loss of their last hope, and Vegeta notes that Moro appears to have grown even more powerful in the last few days. Goku asks how Moro is able to find the Dragon Balls, and Vegeta tells him that Moro is locating the villages by picking up the Namekians' chi. Goku suggests having the Namekian survivors flee from the villages for the time being so that Moro is not able to find the remaining Dragon Balls. At Saburi's village, Cranberry can't seem to find the Dragon Ball. Moro points a house out for him to try, and Cranberry finds it immediately, causing him to ask Moro if he can detect their location, though he does not answer. On Earth, at the lookout, Dende senses that something terrible is happening on his home planet, as does Piccolo, and wonders if it has something to do with Goku and Vegeta. Moro, now having 6 Dragon Balls in his possession, heads to the location of the final ball. Goku and Vegeta sends Moro heading for their location, and they both head out to confront him. Moro arrives only to be surprised to see the 2 Saiyans still alive, but vows to make sure that they will die this time. Goku and Vegeta charge towards Moro, still injured, only to be intercepted by a Galactic Patrol spaceship. Miris, riding on top, shoots down the ship carrying Moro. Moro flies out through the roof, only to be pursued by Iriko piloting the ship. Miris closes in on Moro and, using one of his weapons, fires a substance that covers Moro's body and entraps him from within. Goku asks Miris if they plan to take him back to prison while trapped the way he is, but Miris says it will not hold him for long and calls for another on board his ship. Just then, Jocko and Good Boo fall from the ship, though Boo is still asleep. Jocko explains that he previously woken up, but had since suffered from motion sickness on the ride over and is now out of it again. Nevertheless, Boo eventually comes to, and Jocko tells Vegeta that Boo is now able to seal away Moro's magic due to the Galactic Patrol's medium bringing back the Grand Supreme Kai's old memory through Boo. The return of the Grand Supreme Kai. Upon seeing Moro, Boo remembers him as though he were the Grand Supreme Kai himself and becomes angered. Moro breaks free from his entrapment and faces Boo in battle, though Boo dominates. Vegeta asks Goku if he'd noticed that Boo's energy is not dropping and that Moro's absorption does not have the same effect on him as it did on them. As Goku watches on, he notes that Boo appears to be stronger than before. Miris wonders if it has something to do with his potential being unleashed after his memories were unlocked. Moro becomes enraged, believing that he would never lose if he had access to his full magical power. Boo sprouts 4 extra arms and pummels Moro into the ground. Miris, however, is still worried about what tricks Moro may still have, and tells Boo to use that technique now that Moro is unable to fight back. Boo's now detached arms grab a hold of Moro's limbs and hold him in place while Boo prepares his move, but suddenly the sky turns dark. They soon notice that Porunga has been summoned. Cranberry is the one responsible, having used Eska, and kills the other Namekians who got in his way, including Mori. Porunga states that he will grant any 3 wishes, and Cranberry first asks for his health to be restored as he's on his last legs. Goku and Vegeta make a dash towards Porunga while Moro telepathically contacts Cranberry and asks him to ask the dragon to have his full magical power restored. Cranberry hesitates, however, wanting to know about his own wish to escape to an outlying planet, but Moro threatens him and Cranberry gives in. Porunga restores Moro's magical power and he feels the surge in power immediately. Moro makes a beeline toward Porunga, kicking Goku and Vegeta down along the way. While Cranberry is making his final wish to be sent to a remote planet, Moro suddenly appears behind him and kills Cranberry by impaling him with his hand. Moro's other wish is granted and Porunga disappears. Goku and Vegeta arrive at the location of Moro and notice the deceased Namekians scattered around them. Just as the Galactic Patrol arrive, Moro says his farewells and leaves the area undetected. Boo uses his powers to heal Eska, but is unable to heal the deceased. Just then, the planet begins to shake as Moro has begun to suck all the energy from it. Boo restores Goku and Vegeta to their full strength, but when Goku turns to thank him, he sees the Grand Supreme Kai standing there instead. He explains that until Moro is defeated, he'll be swapping places with Boo, and that they can still save New Namek if they confront Moro together. Goku prepares his instant transmission as he, Vegeta, and the Grand Supreme Kai teleport to Moro. As Moro continues to draw energy from New Namek, Miris, Jocko, and Eska escape aboard a Galactic Patrol spaceship. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta as Super Saiyan Blue, along with the Grand Supreme Kai, appear at Moro's location on the edge of Namek's atmosphere and attack him, but soon realize that it's only an afterimage. The Supreme Kai spots Moro's real body nearby, and due to the Saiyan's inability to breathe in space, heads off to face Moro alone, but finds himself outmatched. Moro bats the Supreme Kai further into deep space, where Goku and Vegeta become unable to see the battle unfold. At the same time, Maris is informed by Iriko that Moro and the Supreme Kai have left Namek's orbit and decide to first attend to Goku and Vegeta. The Grand Supreme Kai pursues Moro through space, launching an energy attack that Moro swallows whole. Becoming even stronger, he proceeds to slam the Kai into a nearby asteroid. He claims that the Kai's abilities will no longer trouble him now that he has surpassed his power. However, the Grand Supreme Kai stands and orders Moro to return to the Galactic Prison, or else he will seal off his magic again. Moro calls his bluff, knowing that he lacks the god power that he once had and is unable to launch the attack. Maris in his spaceship pulls up alongside Goku and Vegeta, and they board the ship. Maris tells the two Saiyans that he believes the Grand Supreme Kai cannot perform the Kai Kai Matoru due to Buu having split in the past, with the god power having gone to the evil half. The Grand Supreme Kai sees a vision of the past when Goku killed King Buu with the Spirit Bomb and realizes that his power disappeared along with him. Back aboard Maris' ship, Vegeta realizes that the only way forward is just through sheer brute force. Maris asks the Saiyans if they are indeed more powerful than Moro, and Vegeta responds by saying that aside from his magic, they are the stronger fighters, with a single full-power Super Saiyan Blue being enough to handle him. Maris puts on a spacesuit and vows to drag Moro back to Namek. Maris saves the Grand Supreme Kai from a finishing blow and joins his side, asking if he's capable of using the Kai Kai technique. The Kai confirms that he can, and Maris proceeds to distract Moro long enough to give the Kai the opportunity to grab a hold of Moro and teleport him back to Namek, where Goku and Vegeta are waiting for him. When Vegeta tells him that he's about to destroy him, Moro laughs, telling them that they've forgotten about his third wish. Galactic Prison Breakout. At the Galactic Prison, two members of the Galactic Patrol assess the damage done following Moro's escape. They head to the control tower, where they watch Calamus escort the Macaroni gang into their cells. Just then, a bolt of energy from New Namek propels itself off-world and in and through the Galactic Prison and shuts down the power, causing all of the cells holding the convicts to open up. Saganbo leads a group of Galactic Patrol prisoners in an assault against the guards and demands that their spaceships be returned to them, and asks the rest of the convicts to join up along with him. Aboard the Galactic Patrol spaceship, Iriko informs Maris and Jaco of the breakout at the prison. Eska then remembers what Moro's third wish was, for all of the prisoners to go free. As Moro finishes telling Goku and Vegeta of his wish, the convicts arrive on a spaceship nearby. A beam of energy comes firing out of the spaceship and straight toward Goku, Vegeta, and the Grand Supreme Kai, who dodge it. Moro lands on the ship and commends Saganbo, saying that he shall share his power with the convicts. Goku and Vegeta suddenly feel the convicts' energy grow as a pile of them jump out ready to confront them. Goku and Vegeta transform into perfected Super Saiyan Blue to battle against them along with the Grand Supreme Kai. They easily overwhelm the convicts, who are stunned by their strength. Moro begins to absorb up Goku and Vegeta's energy once again, and they revert to Super Saiyan God. Goku attempts to charge Moro, but once again reverts into Super Saiyan 3 and is struck hard by Saganbo. Goku and Vegeta, now down to Super Saiyan, continue to fend for themselves while Goku asks Moro why he's doing this. Moro tells him that he desires to create an ideal galaxy where he's free to consume planets as he wishes, and that he also detests the sort of peace that people want to preserve, and that such people should be eradicated. Goku and Vegeta then revert to their normal states. Maris and the others arrive in the area to help their comrades using their advanced weaponry to down the convicts. Maris advises retreating, and Eska uses his healing ability to restore some of the Grand Supreme Kai's strength. Goku prepares to teleport to Galactic Patrol HQ. However, Vegeta refuses to leave due to his pride and tells Goku to go ahead before flying off in the direction of Iriko's spaceship. With no other choice, Goku teleports everyone but Vegeta away. Vegeta catches up with Iriko's spaceship and it manages to escape the area. Iriko tells Vegeta that they are too returning to HQ, but Vegeta tells him that they aren't, but they're heading to planet Yardrat instead. The prisoners board their ship as Moro gathers the last of New Namek's life energy. Saganbo notices the disappearance of the Galactic Patrol and asks Moro if they died. Moro tells him that they escaped using teleportation, but they will not bother to chase them as such powerful individuals are rare, and he will kill them if they interfere again. Moro asks Saganbo if he knows any planets with a lot of life force, to which he does. Saganbo's scouts then board smaller vessels and head out to scour the galaxy, while the main ship leaves the dying New Namek. At the Galactic Patrol headquarters, the Galactic King finally hears about the prisoners having escaped from the Galactic Prison, including Moro. Goku spots Eska and he's taken to see Buu, who has fallen asleep again. Eska asks Goku where Vegeta is, and he tells him that he must have gone somewhere to train up and think of a new idea in order to defeat Moro. Vegeta senses that Moro is heading off in the opposite direction, and Iriko tells him that it's Saganbo's ship. When Vegeta asks who Saganbo is, Iriko reminds him of the one who stood at the side of Moro and how strong he is, though Vegeta dismisses him. Iriko informs Vegeta that it'll take 1 week before they reach planet Yardrat, and also asks him what purpose he has for going there. Vegeta tells Iriko that they employ strange techniques like the instant transmission, and hopes he can be taught something that may help him against Moro. Vegeta then heads into his room where he vows that the next time he and Moro meet, he will defeat him and his convicts, and surpass Goku in the process. A few days later, Saganbo and his crew are on the planet Zune, and they effortlessly take down the Zune Saijin who are attempting to defend their royal treasure from invaders. After taking the treasure, they reboard their ship, and Moro gathers up and feasts on the planet's life energy, destroying the planet and powering up even further in the process. Saganbo receives a call from one of his scouts located elsewhere who informs him of a planet that is crawling with energetic monsters, and so Moro and his crew head for their next destination. Meanwhile, the Galactic Patrol receive word of Zune's annihilation. After Miris claims that their chances of victory against Moro are now virtually non-existent, Goku suggests a little test and throws a punch towards Miris, though he is able to evade it. Goku tells Miris that if he would like to get a feel of his true power, that the two go into the training room. Goku again attempts to hit Miris, though is unable, even as a Super Saiyan, and then as a Super Saiyan 3. Goku transforms into Super Saiyan God, and the room begins to break apart, so the test is brought to a stop. Goku unexpectedly asks him to train him and tells Miris that he's trying to master a new ability, and has a feeling that they could come close to doing so if he trained with him. Miris agrees, though he suggests that they find another location. On planet Jung, the Macaroni gang steal the blue Aurum as previously attempted and kill its guards. Pasta then has his brother Getty contact Saganbo and give him a false story about searching for another planet for Moro to harvest. When they wonder what planet to raid next, Penne Macaroni recalls Jocko saying that blue Aurum exists on Earth, where it's known as Sky Gold. This gives Pasta an idea, and he orders Penne to take their ship to Earth. At the same time, Vegeta finally reaches Yardrat. Training time. Vegeta and Iriko land on the planet where they're greeted by a group of Yardrat. They tell Vegeta of their gratitude towards him and Goku for having defeated the Ginyu Force who had once caused a stir there. Vegeta asks who amongst them taught Goku the teleportation, and the Yardrat responds by making the rest of the group disappear, revealing that he was alone the entire time. He then tells Vegeta to see the Elder. Paibara, the Elder, tells Vegeta that he taught Goku instant transmission. Vegeta explains the situation with Moro and hopes to learn a new technique to defeat him. Paibara tells Vegeta that he's misunderstood as the Yardrat do not have a wealth of techniques, but instead devote themselves to one thing known as spirit control. The Yardrat shows some of these abilities such as instant transmission, multiform, and gigantification, made possible by shifting, splitting, and growing one's own spirit. Vegeta asks to be taught how to learn this. A few days later, Goku and Miris travel to another planet and begin their training. Time passes by at the Galactic Patrol headquarters, and with Miris, Goku, and Vegeta absent, the Galactic King suggests finding new special recruits to join the patrol, such as Piccolo. At the lookout, Piccolo attempts to contact someone on New Namek but is unable to, suggesting to Dende that they may be dead. Meanwhile, the Macaroni gang arrive on Earth in search of blue Aurum, and Piccolo senses their approach and heads out to confront them. Despite their tricks, he easily defeats them and ties them up. Bulma and Mr. Satan arrive at the lookout in search of Piccolo. She tells Dende that Jocko's on his way to Earth to draft Piccolo into the Galactic Patrol and contacts Jocko so he can explain the whole situation. After explaining, he asks Bulma to gather Gohan, Krillin, and Tien Shinhan in preparation for his arrival. Piccolo questions the gang, asking them if they're tied to the disturbance in space, and determining that they're not, he releases them. As they head off, Bulma and Dende head toward Piccolo, and Dende shouts for Piccolo to not let the gang get away as they're allied with the one responsible. Piccolo shoots down the ship, but he's told that it's too late as they've already contacted Moro's main forces. In space, Saganbo receives their message for help. Moro determines that the gang must have found a planet with strong hosts, and has Saganbo send out a stronger scouting party to check it out. Elsewhere, Goku and Miris are currently training. Goku tells him that in order to achieve his required ability, he needs to empty his heart and mind, but finds it difficult due to his emotions being all over the place during a fight. Miris tells him that emotions can also translate into power, such as his Super Saiyan, which is triggered by rage, though what he's after requires the opposite. Miris reveals that he knows of Ultra Instinct and had a reason for keeping quiet about it. Miris leads Goku inside a pyramid where there's a room resembling the hyperbolic time chamber, where for every day that passes in the real world, it amounts to 3 days in the room. He says the main reason for heading inside is so he can unleash his full power without anyone finding out. Now serious, Miris asks Goku if he's ready to continue. On the lookout, Bulma explains to Krillin the ongoing situation and asks him where Gohan and Tien Shin Han are. Krillin tells her that Gohan is attending a college lecture and Tien Shin Han cannot be reached. When Jaco arrives, he approaches Pasta Macareni and tells him that he will soon be back in prison, though Pasta tells him that the main force is coming to rescue them. At the same time, a ship containing Shimareka, 7-3, and Yunba are heading for Earth. With Yunba hungry, they make a short pit stop at a nearby planet. The Confrontation on Earth. Jaco contacts the Galactic Patrol and is informed of 3 henchmen making their way there. Piccolo asks Jaco about them, and Jaco tells them that while all 3 are strong, 7-3 is the one to watch out for. Meanwhile, Shimareka and Yunba are on a planet feasting while 7-3 confronts its inhabitants. He proceeds to steal one of the inhabitants' powers and takes the others down. At the lookout, Jaco explains his stolen abilities last for half an hour. He further explains that 7-3 is an artificial being that was created with advanced technology and exists purely as a killing machine to obey orders. Krillin asks when they'll reach Earth and is told 10 days. However, just then 7-3, Yunba, and Shimareka appear on the lookout, due to 7-3 having stolen someone's ability to create a warp portal. Shimareka notices the Macareni gang and goes to kill them for being traitors, but is stopped by Piccolo. 7-3 appears behind Piccolo and steals his abilities before firing a special beam cannon. He punches Jaco with an extending arm off the lookout, and Piccolo rushes to save him with 7-3 and Shimareka in pursuit. Krillin goes to assist but is grabbed by Yunba. Jaco activates his jet boosts and lands safely. Piccolo asks Jaco how best to fight him, and he explains that his attacks are just as strong as if he were to perform them. When Jaco battles against Shimareka, Piccolo battles 7-3, but appears to be coming off the worst due to 7-3 having an infinite supply of stamina. On the lookout, Krillin is getting pushed back. Yunba curls into a ball and strikes Krillin, sending both of them straight through the sanctuary. Piccolo and 7-3 are in the middle of a special beam cannon clash, and Piccolo is seemingly overwhelmed, but he's saved by Gohan. Elsewhere, on an uninhabited planet, Goku and Meris continue to train. Goku says he's now doubting that he even managed to use Ultra Instinct at all, and after Meris asks if it was first activated during an extreme crisis, he tells Goku the quickest way to achieve it again is to replicate those conditions, and that Goku must be prepared to die during the process. At the same time, Vegeta is seen training on planet Yardrat, running out of patience and begins to regret his decision to come there. Gohan proceeds to outclass 7-3 in battle, evading his Hell Zone grenade before knocking him down. Piccolo joins Gohan's side to give him praise, though voices his mixed feelings on seeing Gohan defeat the guy who stole his powers so easily. 7-3 uses the Great Namekian technique to grow to an immense size. However, this gives Gohan an advantage in maneuverability, as he is able to dodge all of 7-3's attacks even after he begins to use Piccolo's Demon Hand to extend his arms. Gohan powers up an ultimate Kamehameha while flying in and out of the rocks before preparing to launch it off at 7-3. Just then, 7-3's 30 minutes are up and Piccolo's abilities wear off. Gohan launches the Kamehameha on Jaco's advice, and Shimareka shouts at 7-3 to use whatever he has in stock as he taps into Moro's abilities to consume the energy wave. Jaco explains to a surprised Piccolo that 7-3 is actually able to switch to other copied abilities, being able to store up to 3 identities at a time. Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, and Jaco charge at 7-3 out of urgency, but their momentum is halted by a ring of energy that comes up from the earth and surrounds him. Shimareka contacts Saganbo to inform him of the situation, and Moro is curious to hear that his abilities had to be used already. Saganbo has Shimareka switch to monitor mode so that those aboard the ship can see what's happening on Earth. Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, and Jaco begin to feel the effects of the energy being drained from them as Moro watches on. Surprised to see that the planet is host of fighters more powerful than most of his own men. Shimareka and Yunba beat down the exhausted heroes, but Piccolo tells Shimareka not to be too cocky, as even if they were to fall, Goku and Vegeta would come to save them. When Krillin tells him that Goku and Vegeta are training to defeat Moro, the information is transmitted to those aboard the ship. Moro realizes that once their training is complete, they will hold an even greater amount of energy for him to consume, and confirms Saganbo's order for them to leave Earth. The trio begin to head off, telling the others that they will return in Galactic Cycle 7, 20 Earth days, with Moro off to consume Goku and Vegeta before destroying Earth. Jaco, however, is able to buy them an additional time, 2 months. Meanwhile, Meris is informed by the Galactic Patrol of Moro's impending arrival on Earth and relays the news to Goku. As a result of Goku and Meris' location, they're given 6 months' time to train. Ready to get back into it, Goku realizes he's never seen Meris eat before, and is told that it makes no difference to him, something that Goku recalls Whis saying once. At the same time, at Zeno's palace, Whis visits the Grand Minister and apologizes for the disruptive status of his universe, and tells him that he is there to confirm something about their angel laws and the matter regarding Miris. The Grand Minister tells Whis that he had dispatched the angel trainee, Miris, to Universe 7 in order to broaden his perspective on the mortal world. However, despite their laws that angels must act impartially, Miris had gone on to join the Galactic Patrol, and grew a bias on the scale of right and wrong. He decides to recall Miris, but Whis convinces him to let him deal with the situation. On the planet Yardrat, Vegeta continues his training under the Elder Paibara, having improved to a larger and faster degree than Goku previously had. Noticing a disturbance in the city nearby, Vegeta races back to the city, where he comes across Yuzun along with 2 other of Saganbo's henchmen. As Yuzun berates Vegeta and goes to contact his master, Vegeta fires an unexpectedly powerful blast from his fingertip. Paibara teleports into the area and tells a surprised Vegeta that it was a result of his own nascent power, and he has grown much stronger during his time training on the planet due to his body and spirit being more balanced than before. Vegeta easily defeats and overpowers Yuzun and the others, and tells Yuzun to surrender and return to the Galactic prison, but Yuzun tells him the news of Moro's next target, Earth. He tries to make a hasty retreat aboard his ship, but the deflected and hardened building that was thrown earlier by Yuzun returns and strikes him and his ship, killing him on impact. Vegeta asks Paibara to be taught a technique that can bring down Moro, and Paibara agrees. Elsewhere, Moro senses that Vegeta has grown more powerful than before and vows to stock up and reach his limits before traveling to Earth, wondering if he even has limits at all. Over the next 2 months, Moro continues to devour many planets throughout the galaxy, and Goku and Vegeta make progress in their training. On board his ship, Frieza is informed by 2 of his scouts of the Moro Corps' rampage across the universe, and opts not to get involved. With time almost up, Miris asks Goku for one last sparring session before returning to Earth. The 2 decide not to hold back and begin to power up when they suddenly find themselves outside, with Whis nearby. While Whis chastises Miris on his plan to use his full strength in battle and also travel to Earth to battle Moro, Goku is surprised to hear about Miris' angel heritage, and asks what would happen if an angel were to fight. Whis tells him that angels who break their code are eradicated without a trace, the only way an angel can be removed from existence. Whis tells Miris that his time in the mortal world is now over, and with a tap of his staff reveals Miris' angelic clothing and halo. Miris apologizes to Goku, but says he has faith in him, that he can defeat Moro, and the 2 take off back to the angel world. Goku, realizing that he must now get back to Earth, suddenly notices that he's been left alone with just a ship he would need to pilot himself. The Galactic Bandit Brigade's assault. Jocko and the Galactic Patrol head to the planet Earth in preparation for Moro's planned siege. There, they join members of the Dragon Team, sans Goku and Vegeta, who have still not arrived. On the lookout, Good Boo is returned to Earth just as Dende and Mr. Popo spot Saganbo's spaceship arriving. From the main ship, a half-dozen smaller ships emerge and scatter across Earth, where the convicts intend to steal the planet's treasure before it's destroyed. Realizing the situation, Master Roshi suggests facing those convicts, while Gohan and Piccolo stay to face the main threat. The members of the Galactic Patrol split up and follow after the others to offer support. Krillin, along with Master Roshi, comes across Yunba and Krillin attacks him. Master Roshi, however, spots 3 attractive female convicts and, more interested in the women, gives chase to them instead. While Krillin battles Yunba, Tien Shinhan and Chiaotzu battle Koiter, and Yamcha battles a trio of convicts in the city. Shimoreka lands down in front of Gohan and Piccolo, as does 7-3, who once again is able to steal their abilities. 7-3 fires a special beam cannon at the pair, but Gohan blocks it with a shield made of energy. From behind Gohan, Piccolo fires a special beam cannon of his own that hits 7-3 and destroys an upper portion of his body and his entire left arm, though he regrows it thanks to Piccolo's regeneration. After switching to Gohan's abilities, 7-3 fires a volley of energy blasts at them. Gohan charges forward, using Piccolo's assisted energy blasts as footholds to close in quickly, and punches 7-3 into the sea. He emerges soon afterwards, and as the battle continues, Gohan and Piccolo unleash a unison Masenko and special beam cannon that once more severely damages 7-3, though does not finish him off. Shimoreka urgently tells 7-3 to switch over to Moro's ability, as he does so to drain their energy, but they're suddenly kicked in the face by the arriving Android 17 and Android 18. Piccolo voices the need for having 2 androids present due to them not having ki that can be absorbed. On board Saganbo's spaceship, Moro derides his men for not even performing to his lowest of expectations, and ponders on which one of Earth's saviors he will devour first. Meanwhile, on planet Yardrat, Vegeta continues his training, and although he notices the situation on Earth, he decides not to go until he's mastered his current new technique. In another part of the universe, Goku stops by on a planet to ask the locals for directions to Earth. On Kami's lookout, Bulma finishes setting up monitors so the others can watch the battles below. Krillin launches a chain destructo disc at Yunba, though he deflects them through rotating his body at extreme speeds. He knocks Krillin down hard, but he's able to get back on his feet to continue. When Yunba dodges another wave of destructo discs, they seemingly strike Krillin, but he uses the afterimage technique to fool Yunba, appearing behind him and landing a powerful Kamehameha that knocks him out. Krillin joins Master Roshi's side, and he tells him that the girls he chased after are much more than he bargained for, as they appear vowing to get payback. Krillin notes their powerful energy, but says if Roshi just used the same power he showed against Jiren, he should not have any trouble. However, Roshi says he's unable to perform that without a clear mind, to which Krillin comically deduces as to what's really going on. Elsewhere, Tien and Chiaotzu continue their battle against Koiter, but Tien is unable to harm him with physical attacks due to his hard exterior as a metal man. Chiaotzu remembers Automagetta and suggests that Tien insult him. However, Tien struggles to think up a worthwhile insult. Chiaotzu, on the other hand, is able to successfully taunt Koiter and causes him to collapse on the spot. Meanwhile, Roshi dons a bandana to cover his eyes, allowing him to dodge and evade all three convicts' attacks. Angered, all three girls fuse together to become one significantly large, unattractive female and lands a single blow on Krillin and Roshi to send them flying. Saganbo's spaceship begins to descend. As Android 18 continues to overwhelm Shimoreka, Android 17 almost finishes off 7-3, only for Moro to arrive. He tosses 7-3 to Shimoreka, telling him to help him recover as he will make use of him again. As Saganbo joins Moro's side, Piccolo and Gohan point out Moro's terrifying power. As Moro wonders how to go about consuming them all, Saganbo suggests that he handle them and Moro allows it. Before heading into battle, Moro gives Saganbo some of his energy, dramatically powering up and easily overwhelming the other fighters at once. Goku vs. Moro. Tien and Chiaotzu come across Yamcha, who is on the losing end of his fight against Zhaoyogi. Krillin and Roshi, meanwhile, hide from the fused female convict. Krillin, despite knowing that he doesn't stand a chance, decides he'd rather go out swinging. In space, Goku senses the battle's taking over and uses instant transmission after sensing the spike in Krillin's power. As the overweight convict prepares to kill both Krillin and Roshi, she's suddenly knocked out with a single punch from Goku, who apologizes to Krillin for not getting to Earth sooner. After telling Krillin that he believes he may now be able to defeat Moro, Goku teleports to Tien Shinhan, Yamcha, and Chiaotzu, and prepares to take down their foe in an instant. As Zhaoyogi is taken away, Yamcha informs Goku that Gohan and the others need him, and so Goku teleports once more. The battle with Saganbo is going poorly, with only Gohan and Piccolo still fighting the brute, as Android 17, 18, and Jaco have retreated to the sidelines. Jaco questions Saganbo as to why he'd work for Moro, with the former convict explaining that it was because Moro saved the prisoners from the Galactic prison. Suddenly, Saganbo is attacked by Goku, moving too fast for anyone but Moro to see, and is sent flying to Moro, who knocks him aside. At Moro's request, Goku reveals himself. However, Saganbo gets back up, having been powered up by Moro when he knocked him aside. Goku engages Saganbo as a Super Saiyan Blue and overwhelms him, despite multiple power-ups from Moro. Goku demands that Moro stop powering up Saganbo as it will lead to his death, but Moro refuses, wanting to force Goku to use the ability he was using when he first arrived at the battlefield. As Goku attacks Moro to try and stop him, Saganbo dies from the stress of all the power that had been given to him. Moro mocks his death for being unable to withstand the smidgen of energy he'd been given. Now faced with Moro, Goku unveils his ability, Ultra Instinct Sign, which Moro recognizes as a technique of the gods. The two get into their battle stances and form a standstill position. Goku throws out a number of punches with such force that they create a series of air bursts which Moro has to defend himself from. After dodging several energy blasts, Goku charges in and applies pressure until Moro uses his magic to immobilize Goku, explaining that it is just one of the many techniques he can perform, though Goku soon breaks free. Goku closes in again, powering up a Kamehameha, but turns away from Moro at the last second, firing it and causing the real Moro to appear and block it, aware that the other Moro was an illusion. The two continue into a close-quarters slugfest in the sky, with Goku having the upper hand until Moro once again uses his magic to draw Goku towards him, where the two land simultaneous blows to each other's midsection. Moro tries to absorb Goku's energy, but with a flash of speed, Goku is able to avoid it, and Goku's friends soon believe that Goku can win as he starts to overpower Moro more and more. On Beerus' planet, Whis and Maris watch the battle, with Whis praising Maris for how well he trained Goku. Whis asks if Goku has mastered Ultra Instinct, but Maris says that Goku was only able to achieve Ultra Instinct Sign. After Moro uses more of his magic abilities, he notices Goku's eagerness to finish the fight, and tells him that he's made an error in thinking that he has overcome his energy absorption technique. Telling Goku he's a fool for thinking that he's only capable of what he's shown so far, Moro powers up further, shocking and terrifying the others with the enormous amount of energy he displays. In an instant, Moro turns the tables on Goku as he falls out of the Ultra Instinct Sign state, with Moro deducing that the reason he didn't use the form the whole time against Saganbo was because he could not maintain it for long. Goku acknowledges his weakness, but says that if Moro was just stalling for time, then it must mean that he cannot beat him at full power. Goku then powers back up into his Ultra Instinct Sign state and gets ready for round 2. Both begin to unleash enough power that their aura begins to collide with each other. Goku wins out and pushes Moro back, continuing into close quarters combat that shows that the two were initially evenly matched in battle. Moro stands after having been knocked down and claims that if this is Goku's true power, then he will not be defeated by him. The fight turns heavily in Moro's favor as Goku begins to slow down. Moro admits his surprise at seeing Goku amass so much power, but says that he's reached his limit. Goku, refusing to give in, unleashes more of his power, but is nevertheless taken down quickly. As Maris and Whis watch the fight, Maris is dismayed at what he's seeing. Beerus states that he's hungry, and Whis cuts the feed and begins to head off. Though Maris says that Earth and the other planets will be in danger, Whis tells him that such is the cycle of the universe, and it's not their place to meddle and disrupt the natural flow of things. On planet Yardrat, Paibara compliments Vegeta on mastering his new technique in such a short time. Vegeta asks him to teleport him to Earth, but it is explained that Yardrats are forbidden to use teleportation to travel off-world. Furthermore, Paibara is unable to sense Goku's energy, which Vegeta says must be because Goku is using Ultra Instinct, a form that only gods can sense. Vegeta demands that he be taught instant transmission himself, claiming that he will master it faster than anyone else. Goku, having reverted back to his normal state, is almost finished off, but saved by the intervention of androids 17 and 18, who say that they have no energy to be absorbed. The two attempt to take Moro on, but are unable to so much as damage him. Vegeta versus Moro. When Paibara suddenly senses Goku's energy, they realize he must have lost his fight against Moro. Paibara offers to make an exception to their rule to take Vegeta to Earth, but he refuses, believing that he can pull it off. Thanking Hatsuka and Paibara for having trained him, Vegeta successfully uses instant transmission to get to Earth. Goku is surprised to see Vegeta, and more surprised to see that he has learned instant transmission. But Vegeta says he wouldn't be likely to pull it off again, nor does he intend to learn it afterwards, having obtained a superior technique. Vegeta is the next to take Moro on, transforming into Super Saiyan God SS Evolve, then charges straight for Moro. Vegeta punches Moro, but he quickly recovers, commending Vegeta on his increased strength. However, Moro still believes that he is no match for him. Undeterred, Vegeta charges forward again. Even after Moro kicks him into the cliffside, Vegeta races back into action. When Moro attempts to steal away his energy, Vegeta dodges and counters hard. Moro pile drives him into the ground, but notices that something is wrong. As Vegeta continues to fight, he appears to gain the advantage. Goku realizes what is up, and Vegeta tells him that he's using Forced Spirit Fission. Just then, Gohan and Piccolo notice the energy leaving Moro's body and forming into a ball in the sky. Moro, now showing a more elderly appearance, asks what the Saiyan has done to him. Vegeta explains that he has liberated all the energy that Moro has stolen from the planets and their inhabitants, and with a single action, returned the energy to where it originally belonged. Goku explains to Piccolo and his son that Forced Spirit Fission is a technique that tears apart things combined through fusion or absorption. While continuing to pummel Moro, Vegeta tells Piccolo that he could extract those Namekians that he had fused with in the past. Vegeta continues to outclass Moro, explaining that he's always hated the idea of fusion and absorption as it does not reflect one's true strength, telling Moro to fight using his own power. On planet Yardrat, Paibara notes that while the deceased inhabitants will not be restored to life by Vegeta's actions due to having too much time passed, those with strong life forces shall. On New Namek, the Namekians previously killed when Moro sucked away their energy came back to life. As Vegeta fights on, Piccolo voices his surprise at his growth as a person. Originally responsible for many horrific crimes, Vegeta now fights for his home planet and to save the universe from Moro. Piccolo believes that this change is because of Goku, and at the current moment that Vegeta has one-upped him, though Goku vows to surpass him again. Believing the fight to be all but over, Vegeta prepares to kill Moro. However, despite having almost no power left, Moro claims that he still has his magic and distracts Vegeta long enough to take off into the air. Moro reaches Saganbo's spaceship where he kills Shimoreka and proceeds to swallow 7-3 alive and whole. Vegeta, having reached the ship, fires a blast at Moro, but when the smoke clears, Vegeta is shocked by what he sees. On the ground below, Goku notes that Moro's power has grown even stronger, just as Vegeta crashes to the ground, having reverted to his base form. Moro lands on the ground before them, sporting a brand new look that is one half Moro and one half 7-3. Goku and Piccolo ask him what he's done, and Moro explains that he just didn't have 7-3 copy his magic abilities, but his combat abilities too, creating a complete backup of himself that existed inside 7-3. Having now absorbed 7-3, he now also has access to his unique abilities too, boasting that it has pushed his power to previously unseen heights. The new terrible Moro. Moro confirms that he has added 7-3's abilities to his own just as Vegeta returns. Vegeta attacks, but Moro has no problem dodging him, telling Vegeta that he cannot use his Force Spirit Fission ability unless he deals damage. Gohan and Piccolo tell Vegeta that Moro's newfound abilities will only last 30 minutes, at which point he will return to his former strength. However, Moro tells him there's no longer a time limit and proceeds to grab Vegeta by the neck and copy his abilities. Moro pounds on Vegeta before firing off a Big Bang attack to knock him out. Piccolo reminds Goku that the fusion dance, or Potara, that they had previously used as a last resort would not work now that Moro has acquired Vegeta's Force Spirit Fission for himself. Meanwhile, on the lookout, Dende decides to fly down to the battlefield to heal everyone while on the ground below. Krillin also makes his way to the battlefield carrying Senzu beans. Gohan and Piccolo attack in unison against Moro and Gohan, managing to ensnare him using the Galactic Donut technique. Goku performs the instant Kamehameha, but this only results in him destroying Moro's left arm. Much to everyone's horror, Moro's arm quickly regenerates as he drives it straight through Goku's chest, reminding everyone that he has access to Piccolo's regeneration and other abilities that 7-3 previously copied without the issue of there being a time limit. As Goku collapses to the ground, seemingly dead, Gohan flies into a fit of rage and attacks Moro, though is unable to so much as make him flinch before being brutally taken down. Dende telepathically contacts Piccolo and tells him his intended plan, but Piccolo stops him after realizing that Moro can hear him as well. Not wanting any interference, Moro erects a barrier that prevents anyone from entering or leaving. Android 17 and 18 are both swiftly taken down with a pair of Gallic beams, and as a last resort and using the barrier to his advantage, Piccolo attempts an all-or-nothing attack, but is struck down by Moro's special beam cannon, leaving Jocko all alone. As Dende berates his helplessness, he suddenly falls through a small hole in the barrier opened up by a guide angel, whom he clearly recognizes. Inside the barrier, Moro advances toward a terrified Jocko, preparing to brutally kill him while Jocko fires off a shot from his ray gun, which causes a greater explosion than was expected. An enraged Moro realizes that someone else has decided to interfere in his plans as a confident Meris steps forward. Meris explains to Jocko that he has only arrived to finish up Goku's training. Moro looks around to notice that the Fallen Dragon team members are no longer present within the barrier, realizing that Meris has sent them away to another place. Moro dispels the barrier, and knowing that he must buy some time for Goku and his comrades, Meris charges into action using a pole, displaying an impressive level of agility and reflexes. Elsewhere, Dende stands over the injured Goku and his allies, while Beerus and Whis watch them from above. Beerus decides to head to Bulma's place in order to get some food, and Whis tags along. They notice that Meris is not alongside them, but state that it is no harm to leave him behind. Dende uses his healing abilities to close Goku's wounds, and is quick to ask where Moro is. After learning that he is fighting Meris, Goku quickly rushes over to the battlefield. Meris and Moro continue their battle, with Moro sensing that Meris is still concealing his true power. Goku arrives, urgent for Meris not to disappear, so he quickly transforms into Ultra Instinct Sign and goes on the offensive. However, Goku is unable to land even a single blow, with Moro chastising him on why it would work this time when it failed before. Believing a final push is all that's required to trigger Goku's true Ultra Instinct, Meris summons his angel-attended staff and decides to seal off Moro's copy abilities. Whis and Beerus sense what Meris is doing and decide to go back in order to stop him. While Meris uses his staff to destroy the orbs on Moro's palms, he explains to Goku that while he was born as an angel meant to maintain a neutral position outside of good and evil, he grew a sense of justice during his time spent on the Galactic Patrol. Seeing how the Galactic Patrol members continued to protect the galaxy despite being outdone by the ever more powerful criminals, Meris came to realize that the piece of the galaxy is worth hanging on to. As Meris begins to fade away, he forms the signature halo, telling Goku that his next attack will be his last. With one final charge towards Moro, Meris recalls his time spent with Goku while training, and his words to him, believing Goku and his ideals to be fascinating. Moro launches an energy attack, but Meris simply flies straight through it before landing a punch directly at the orb on Moro's forehead, shattering it. With Moro's copy abilities now having been sealed away, Meris begins to evaporate. Goku looks on distraught while Meris tells him that at his current level of strength, if he were able to achieve true Ultra Instinct, it'll be far more stable than ever before, and he will not lose to Moro or anyone else. Asking Goku to protect the galaxy he's grown to love, Meris fades away as a grief-stricken Jocko cries out to him. Beerus and Whis watch on from nearby, with Whis voicing his sadness at losing his younger brother. Goku, meanwhile, begins to summon up newfound strength, both saddened and enraged by Maras's demise. Ultra Instinct unleashed. Goku tries to calm himself, realizing that Maras's sacrifice was not merely for his benefit, but for the universe as a whole. Goku, acknowledging his current employment as a member of the Galactic Patrol, says that it is now his duty to protect the universe as well. Moro returns only to find that Maras isn't there. Goku informs him that Maras has died, and it's now his job to take Moro down for good. Goku unleashes his inner power, emerging in the perfected version of Ultra Instinct. Moro looks on in horror and in a fit of panic attempts an attack, only for Goku to grab his arm and stop him. Goku displays his new level of strength by effortlessly dodging and blocking every one of Moro's attacks with ease. Moro unleashes his full power and charges. However, Goku uses a God Bind to stop Moro in his tracks before lifting him into the air. Goku leaps towards Moro and lands a powerful punch to his stomach with such force that the impact sends shockwaves across the planet. Moro lands with a thud, heavily injured, and Goku tells him that it's useless to fight back now. Becoming desperate, Moro uses the planet's own energy as a means of offense, but this still proves futile as Goku kicks him into a stream of energy, severing one of his arms in the process. Moro then attempts to suck the Earth's energy dry and consume it for himself, but before he can, Goku strikes him into a nearby rock, causing a large chunk to break away from the impact and pin Moro underneath. No longer having the energy to even move, Moro weakly begs Goku to have mercy. Goku confirms from Jocko that Moro had previously been sentenced to death and tears off his gi with the Galactic Patrol insignia on it, telling him that from here on out he will fight as an Earthling. Goku destroys the boulders pinning Moro with a ki, teleports over to the newly arrived Krillin and takes the bag of senzu beans from him. He offers to spare Moro's life if he promises to return to the Galactic prison and stay there. Moro accepts and Goku tosses him a senzu. After Moro eats the bean and finds his injuries healed, Goku asks if he intends to keep his promise, but Moro instead attacks Goku, attempting to pierce his chest once more. However, Moro instead breaks his arm on Goku's body. Goku calls him a coward and that he could never defeat him. He drops back down to his normal state, asking Moro if he had ever trained before. When Moro scoffs at this, saying that training is only for weaklings, Goku says that it's a pity, as he could have grown stronger through training than he ever did by eating planets, and would have loved the opportunity to fight him again. Jocko urges Goku to finish off Moro, and once more Goku asks if he'll return to prison. Moro spots his previously severed arm behind Goku and vows to continue devouring planets until all of Universe 7 is left barren, causing Goku to tap back into autonomous Ultra Instinct to finish him. Moro summons his arm back towards him and attaches it, gaining Maras's power and abilities, and takes on an angelic form. The two battle once more, and fearful of the damage they could do to the Earth, Goku takes the skirmish to the sky, with Moro amazed at what his body is now capable of. Racing across the planet, Moro kicks Goku into a mountain, and as they continue, Moro's body begins to swell up several times its normal size, with Whis explaining that his body cannot contain the angel power coursing through him. As Goku gains the advantage, he reminds Moro that he's now experiencing the same thing that Saganbo did when Moro killed him, and urges Moro to give up the power before it destroys him. An enraged Moro realizes he must attain a body strong enough to endure the power. Whis tells Goku that if he intends to kill Moro, then he should do so now, as it would be unwise to drag the fight out any further. Goku goes to finish the job, only for Moro to merge himself with the very planet. Whis tells everyone that Moro's fate is now tied to Earth's, lamenting that all of Goku's training was seemingly for nothing. In addition, his body was now a living bomb, which would eradicate the entire galaxy if destroyed. Moro arrogantly laughs and declares that this is the end for Goku. Moro uses a multitude of fists that he summons from the Earth's surface to attack Goku from different directions. As Goku fends for himself, Whis notices that Moro's energy continues to swell to dangerous levels that will eventually cause the galaxy to be annihilated. Beerus decides to intervene, but before he can act, Whis is notified that Beerus has been summoned by the Grand Minister and chooses to head back there immediately. Before taking their leave, Whis tells Goku that the only way to defeat Moro is to destroy the crystal on his forehead in order to have him release Maras's power. Doing so will defeat Moro whilst leaving the Earth intact. Whis and Beerus then take their leave. Moro continues to grow, which causes the crystal to sink further into his body. Suddenly, Vegeta arrives in his Super Saiyan God SS evolved state and using his Force Spirit Vision technique, punches away at the ground in order to cause Moro to deflate. With a set amount of time before becoming exhausted, Goku charges in but falls short of Moro's forehead and is entangled by Moro. Goku curses himself, wondering if he lacks enough God power. This gives Jocko an idea and he takes off towards the lookout where he asks for Boo. Goku, with his power drained, drops back into his base form just as his allies arrive beside Vegeta. Piccolo asks if Vegeta is capable of using his Force Spirit Fission in reverse by gathering up energy and giving it to Goku. Confirming that he can, the Dragon team gives their energy to Vegeta. Piccolo contacts Dende and asks him to gather energy from all those on the lookout to send their way for the same purpose. On Monster Island, Goten and Trunks also hear Piccolo's voice and offer up their energy. Having gathered up all the energy, Vegeta adds his own and passes it on to Goku. This revitalizes him, though only enough to achieve Super Saiyan Blue, which isn't enough to allow him to reach the crystal. As the others begin to lose all hope, Moro goes insane due to the power within him overwhelming what little remains of his mind, and he begins to self-destruct. As they plan to rescue Goku, they suddenly notice an enormous ball of god power approaching. The power comes from a young boy in a small village, Oob, who is able to send his energy thanks to assistance from the Grand Supreme Kai, who has reappeared once more through Buu. Vegeta passes on the energy to Goku one last time, but this time it proves enough to not only allow Goku to reawaken his autonomous Ultra Instinct, but also manifest an ethereal avatar made entirely of energy in the shape of Goku that is even larger than Moro. This avatar overpowers Moro and the physical body of Goku leaps out of it. With a single mighty punch, he shatters the crystal. Moro's body crumbles before he's consumed by a massive explosion. As the dust settles, Goku turns towards his friends to give a happy thumbs up, celebrating their apparent victory. Vegeta lands aside Goku and asks where his final burst of power came from, to which Goku is unsure, but concludes that there must be someone else amazing on Earth. In Oob's village, the Grand Supreme Kai thanks Oob for his assistance before returning to the lookout, where he transforms back into Good Buu, who has no memory of his time as the Grand Supreme Kai, much to Mr. Satan's elation. Epilogue. In celebration of their victory, Mr. Satan puts on a feast in the garden of his home, with all of Goku's friends and family present. Following the feast, Goku takes Eska back to his homeworld of New Namek. There, the Dragon Porunga restores the planets and lives that were consumed by Moro, and the universe quickly returns to how it was before Moro's emergence. A few days later, Goku, Vegeta, and Good Buu are taken to the Galactic Patrol headquarters to be part of a ceremony where they, along with Jocko, are awarded a medal for their efforts in the defeat of Moro. As the honorees are named, a fifth is unexpectedly mentioned. Miris Ikanoichi Abashi, who emerges from the crowd, much to Goku and Vegeta's shock, as they believed he no longer existed. Miris tells them that it is true, as he no longer exists as an angel. A few days prior, having been summoned to Zeno's palace, Whis apologizes to his father, feeling responsible for Miris violating their code. The Grand Minister states that he made a great mistake by putting Miris under Whis' care. He also explains that ordinarily, a rule-breaking angel is to be erased from existence forever, but in this circumstance, he had personally erased Miris himself briefly before bringing him back once again as a mortal, saying that he is no longer immortal and his angel powers are gone. When asked why Grand Minister would show such mercy, Shin appears, and it's explained that Shin had offered to sacrifice his own life in exchange for Miris's. However, for all the trouble that the three had caused, the Grand Minister decides to punish them. They must play with the Xenos. Back in the present, at the Galactic Patrol headquarters, Goku and company continue to have a good time, finishing off the celebrations with a commemorative photo. Just like that, Goku and Vegeta's time as Galactic Patrol members comes to an end, and the universe is at peace once more. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.